Aims to further ramp up COVID-19 vaccinations, allowing more Filipinos to get booster shots beginning tomorrow. Former Senator Bongbong Marcos faces yet another petition challenging his presidential bid, while a faction of the ruling party PDP Laban is hoping for a miracle to stop Senator Bongo from pulling out of the race. And 2021 is almost over. Find out the artists people listen to the most this year. Despite falling short of the initial target in the first 3 days, the massive COVID-19 vaccination drive consistently picking up pace this week, especially with the additional rollout, not just for economic frontliners and indigent Filipinos, but for all fully vaccinated adults beginning tomorrow. Our Tristan Nodalo has more.
The government is all set for the expanded rollout of booster shots beginning Friday, December 3. Health Secretary Francisco Duque confirms that the guidelines have been finalized for the nationwide rollout. The health chief initially says that this will be open for the essential workers and indigent population category, but the DOH later on clarified that all fully vaccinated individuals 18 years old and above are entitled for the booster shots. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez says that the supply for booster shots have been secured.
Instead of Monday, the booster goes for A4, A5. Tomorrow, the IATF will get the guidelines this afternoon. I-discuss na ni ang NBOC head, si Yusek Kabutahe.
Yung ating supply for boosters is already been secured for the first semester or 6 months. Ang aming pinaghahandaan is yung February election period, na matapos lahat ng boostering more or less during the first quarter.
Meantime, the extended rollout of the government's Bayanihan Bakunahan kicks off in Santa Rosa, Laguna. Calabarzon is among the top regions with the largest number of vaccinated individuals during the mass rollout. So far, we've seen families and employees taking the opportunity today to get vaccinated, like the Amarante family.
May mga anak din po kami na magkaroon kami, lumalabas po kami kasi may trabaho po kami. Hindi natin alam kung baka mahawa tayo, di ba? Kung protektado tayo, was okay.
Para maging normal na uli yung buhay natin, kagaya ng dati, yung walang ganitong virus. Matapos na yung virus.
The government has vaccinated over 7 million people during the Bayanihan Bakunahan drive. It fell short of its target of 9 million vaccine recipients. Authorities say that they are planning to revise some of their policies for the second phase of the national vaccination days, including the rules for walk-ins or the unregistered. Meantime, the government is still hopeful to reach the target of 54 million inoculated Filipinos by the end of December. In Santa Rosa, Laguna, Tristan Nodalo, CNN Philippines.
If you have been fully vaccinated for at least 6 months and want to get a booster shot, here's a guide on which vaccine brand to get. The Health Department says Sinovac, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and Moderna vaccines have been approved as booster shots. All of these may be used for homologous third dose, except for Sinovac. The same brands may be used for heterologous booster. This means it can be administered to those who received a different brand for their primary shots. The government is planning to add more areas to the red list amid the threat of the new Omicron variant. The Interagency Task Force earlier said nations with local Omicron cases would be placed under the red list as they are considered high risk. For now, entry of travelers from South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, Austria, the Czech Republic, Hungary, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Belgium, and Italy is not allowed until December 15.
We are going to propose additional countries based on the detection of this Omicron variant. But as I've said, we also need to balance it off with the case trends. They might have detected one Omicron variant, but their trends of cases are just below this incidence rate that we can classify them as red, and then we're not going to recommend. So it's still being studied. We have the IATF later, and then we will be informing the public after.
So far, the Bureau of Quarantine is monitoring at least 64 people who recently arrived in the country before the travel ban. They include 3 expatriates and a Filipino who went to Negros Occidental after arriving from South Africa. Health officials say the 4 initially tested negative for COVID-19. They have been re-swabbed and isolated pending test results. While the Philippines has not yet detected the Omicron variant, it has now been found in at least 25 countries and territories since it was first discovered by South African scientists last month. The United States is the latest addition to the list after it confirmed a case of the new variant in California. Top U.S. health expert Dr. Anthony Fauci says the individual traveled from South Africa on November 22nd and tested positive for COVID-19 on the 29th. Fauci adds the patient is fully vaccinated and self-quarantining with mild symptoms that are now improving. His close contacts tested negative for the virus. South Korea also detected its first 5 cases of Omicron in travelers from Nigeria. This comes as South Korea logged over 5,200 new infections, a record high for the second straight day. That's despite over 80% of the population already fully vaccinated. The surge prompted authorities to mandate a 10-day quarantine for all incoming international travelers for the next 2 weeks. International agencies speak out against restrictions on African nations. The United Nations called the travel bans unacceptable and likened them to apartheid. The World Health Organization says these will likely not completely prevent the spread of the Omicron variant and only limit the ability of South African researchers to ship virus samples. The WHO also raised concern that countries are being penalized for sharing information. Back here at home, more students will return to face-to-face classes next week, this time including in 28 schools in Metro Manila. That as the number of COVID-19 cases continue to drop. AC Nichols has more.
Sa ating classroom? Wow, very good!
These kindergarten students are finally in the classroom for the first time for a dry run. They will begin their formal education at Comembo Elementary School in Makati City, one of 28 schools in Metro Manila that will reopen for in-person classes on Monday. The Education Department's list shows there is at least one school from every city in the region, except Pateros, joining the pilot run. At Comembo Elementary School, only 13 learners are in a classroom. School officials say they chose students who need extra help.
Mga working parents, ang mga magulang nila, at walang mga nag-a-assist sa kanila sa kanilang bahay.
Some parents say looking after their children can be physically demanding, especially if all of them are in school.
Nahihirapan na rin po kasi ako kasi 4 po yung mga anak ko, ma'am, sa nag-aaral.
Students in the meantime are just happy to be out of the house after more than a year and a half indoors.
Walang magawa sa bahay.
Maganda po kasi sa school eh. Tsaka dun po sa may bahay, wala po ako masyadong magawa.
Basic health protocols are in place. Students will have to pass through temperature scanners by the entrance. Students are told to wash their hands regularly as well.
One of the first things you notice is that there are no plastic barriers between chairs, unlike the first schools that reopened. According to the health department, the barriers may do more harm than good as they could impede airflow.
They put UV light and air purifiers in each classroom instead.
Diba, ang breath natin is warm air. So when it goes up at may virus siya, automatically warm air goes up and the UV light basically kills the virus in milliseconds. So walang way para matransmit. So pagbaba naman, meron kaming 2 heavy duty air purifiers po that would naman clean the lower parts.
The Education Department is planning to continue expanding the pilot run for face-to-face classes as COVID-19 cases decline. Aside from the 28 in Metro Manila, over 100 elementary and high schools from the regions are scheduled to reopen next week. AC Nichols, CNN Philippines.
A pharmaceutical firm is looking for participants for a trial checking the efficacy and safety of investigational drug molnupiravir in preventing COVID-19 infection among close contacts. MSD Philippines partnered with Asian Hospital Medical Center and the Quirino Memorial Medical Center which will recruit close contacts living with symptomatic patients who tested positive within 5 days before the trial. Participants must not have symptoms or caught COVID and unvaccinated. The patients must be under home quarantine as participants will live with them for a month. During the trial, qualified close contacts will either take molnupiravir or a placebo by mouth every 12 hours for 5 days.
Imagine in a situation wherein you get exposed to somebody who has COVID, you're able to take a medicine for it, and you're not going to develop COVID.
We're in the lull of the surge, so relatively mababa or halos wala tayong nakukuhang bagong pasyente. But if you know of someone who has recently been diagnosed to have COVID, so ito yung index case, and then we can look into the household, yung mga kasama nila sa bahay. Kasi ito yung mga pwede nating i-include dun sa clinical trial.
30 out of the over 1,300 participants globally will come from the Philippines. Those interested to join may contact the numbers on your screens. A recent study showed molnupiravir can reduce the risk of severe disease or death in asymptomatic and mild patients by 30%. Coming up on Newsnight, the Interior Department cautions election hopefuls as they hold rallies that gather huge crowds, unmindful of health protocols. And film singer Olivia Rodrigo is ending the year strong on Spotify's charts. More about her latest achievements after the break.
Oh, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa bawat pahid ay ginhawa.
Yung MX3. Ako po si Captain Boyet Toledo. 3 taon na pong naninilbihan bilang air ambulance pilot.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Kabilang ba kayo sa mga Pilipino na nahihirapan sa mga transaksyon dahil wala o kulang ang mga valid IDs?
Huwag nang mag-alala dahil narito na po ang PhilSys, ang identification system ng bawat Pilipino.
Meron lamang pong 3 steps para makapagrehistro at makakuha ng PhilID. Para sa Step 1 registration, pumunta lang sa register.philsys.gov.ph para makapag-register sa PhilSys online.
Sa pamamagitan ng ID natin, ang bawat Pilipino ay meron ng valid proof of identity.
At mas mapapadali na ang ating mga public and private transactions. Kaya ano pang hinihintay nyo?
Ayain na sina nanay, tatay at ang buong pamilya. At mag-register na. Ito ang PhilSys, ID natin to.
When it comes to my family, I make sure to give them only the best. Meals that are healthy, safe, and flavorful. Enjoy home-style goodness with Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken templados. Pre-marinated, it is made from fresh chicken. It is so easy to prepare and super delicious. Also high in protein, which helps boost our immune system. Get your Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken templados from Magnolia chicken stations in chicken tocino flavor and the chicken teriyaki.
Friends, try nyo to. Vet-approved Nutri-Chunks in lamb flavor. With active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real lamb goodness. With essential nutrients to help keep them strong, healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks.
Sa pagbangon ng mga Pilipino, saludo ako sa mga taong patuloy na humaharap sa hamon ng pagbabago.
Bilang isang ina, handa akong gawin ang lahat para sa kaligtasan ng aking mga anak.
Pandemya man, tuloy pa rin ang serbisyo para malinis ang kapaligiran. Serbisyong publiko para sa kaligtasan ng lahat.
Sa panahon ng krisis, ikaw, ako, magtulungan tayo Saludo ako sa Pilipino.
Bawat patak, may sarap, may lakas, sulit. Red Horse Beer.
This Christmas season, Robinson Supermarket is giving you and your family more reasons to be happy with Holiday Fair 2021 promo. This promo has fresh and healthy groceries with exciting deals, perfect for the moms and dads out there who are preparing for the holidays. The promo started last November 1 and will stretch throughout the holidays until December 31, 2021. What's best about this promo is that we will be giving away up to 3 million worth of shopping sprees to 60 lucky customers. All they have to do is to purchase at least 1,500 pesos worth of Holiday Fair participating items using their Go Rewards card or app. If you want to avoid the holiday rush, don't worry. Just order your Holiday Fair groceries online at Robinson Supermarket via Go Robinson's delivery. You'll still be able to enjoy all the exciting deals and discounts plus free delivery if you order at least 3,500 pesos worth of groceries. We're also doing the Holiday Fair 2021 live series via Facebook. We will be giving away up to 175,000 pesos worth of cash prizes, gadgets, and gift certificates. So please join us on our remaining episodes. That's on December 4 and December 18. Enjoy this exciting holiday ride with Robinson Supermarket. Happy holidays and safe shopping, everyone.
The book is about change brought about by research and development and innovation. This book breaks down the program's 4 components that promote inclusive innovation, research and development expertise, applications, and collaborations between the government, the academe, and the private sector. We have so much to be proud of as a nation. Even with limited resources, our scientists have found solutions to the most complex problems.
We should not lose the richness of the experiences, not only of the people who are implementing the program, but mostly the people who benefit from the program.
We have 5 amazing books about science, technology, and innovation.
Pwede ninyong i-download itong mga books na ito ng libre sa aming DOST website at sa Science for Change program website.
Welcome back to CNN Philippines. Presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos faces yet another hurdle in his quest to Malacanang. The Akbayan Citizens Action Party marched to the Commission on Elections headquarters in Manila this morning to file a second disqualification case against Marcos. This is the 5th petition opposing his 2022 bid. The Akbayan members say Marcos has been disqualified from holding a government post after being found guilty of not filing his income tax returns from 1982 to 1985. Petitioners say although the penalty of a perpetual ban from public office only took effect in 1986, it covers at least a year out of the 4 which Marcos was found guilty of not filing his ITR, since the 1985 declaration should have been filed by April of the following year.
Hindi natin nahahayaan na makatakbo ulit si Bongbong Marcos kasi yung kanyang pagtakbo ay direktang insulto sa mga mamamayang Pilipino. Mas maraming mga kaso, mas mataas yung tsansa na ma-disqualify sana siya.
Marcos's team shrugged off the petition. His spokesperson, Vic Rodriguez, says this is part of the group's plan to block his candidacy. Rodriguez adds Marcos and his running mate, presidential daughter Sara Duterte, remain focused on helping Filipinos recover from the pandemic. A faction of the ruling party is still keeping its hopes up over the presidential bid of Senator Bong Go. PDP Laban Secretary General Melvin Matibag says the party is still hoping its perceived standard bearer would still take back his decision to pull out of the race. Matibag says he himself couldn't think of another aspirant whom they can endorse once Go formalizes his withdrawal.
I'll be honest with you that until now I'm praying for a miracle that he will continue. Nakaabang pa rin naman po tayo dahil officially hindi pa naman po siya talaga nag-withdraw.
Yeah, in fact,
so what we did lang po is to come out with a standard in case na based on this statement, kasi medyo categorical na yung statement yan yung Tuesday, naka-ready po ang partido.
Should Go's plan push through, Matibag says the party would come up with a set of standards for the next aspirant they will endorse. A look now at what other presidential aspirants are up to. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno visited the Parañaque City Hall where huge crowds gathered to see him. He was in Mabalacat, Pampanga earlier in the day to endorse Mayor Chris Garbo's re-election bid. Senator Manny Pacquiao was in his hometown in General Santos City where he distributed aid to hundreds of families whose homes were destroyed by a fire. And during their weekly press briefing, Senator Panfilo Lacson and his running mate, Senate President Vicente Soto III, said they will avoid criticizing other candidates in next year's polls.
Ang gusto lang namin, itaas yung antas ng kampanya. Hindi naman sila yung kalaban natin dito eh. Ang kalaban natin dito, kahirapan, katiwalian. So we stick to issues.
When you point a finger, three fingers are pointing at you. Talagang hindi namin ugali yun. Kung just ibang kandidato, merong ginawang hindi mong gusto o hindi tama sa naaayon sa style mo, bakit makikipintas ka kagad? Pangit eh. Ewan ko, bahala sila kung gusto nilang gawin yun.
Political rallies are not allowed before the campaign period. That reminder from the Department of the Interior and Local Government comes as national and local candidates stage political rallies that draw huge crowds. The DILG says the public should refrain from holding these possible super spreader events as it warns of the potential threat of the Omicron variant. The agency adds while special gatherings are allowed with the permission of local government units, minimum public health standards should still be observed. The campaign period officially begins on February 8 for national posts and on March 25 for local positions. Still on Newsnight, PBA teams are set to compete against other Asian powerhouses in next year's Super League. And Philam singer Olivia Rodrigo's hit song is the most streamed on Spotify this year. Details next. This is CNN Philippines.
O, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa bawat pahid ay ginhawa.
Ang lahat para sa Pilipino, para sa maliwanag na kinabukasan at tungo sa pag-angat ng bawat mamamayan. Ito ang Duterte Legacy.
For ghosts, there's no place like home.
This main house has something in it.
And home is Discovery Plus. Freak out on all the episodes of Ghost Adventures.
Whatever is up in that room doesn't want us there.
I heard that. Discovery Plus is here, the exclusive home of Ghost Adventures. Subscribe now at 129 pesos per month.
Boracay has put the country on the map for domestic and international tourism. It is only fitting that the gateway to this paradise island is modern and state-of-the-art. SMC Infrastructure has taken the lead in overseeing the improvements of the Boracay Airport. Throughout the years, it carried several name changes, from Caticlan Airport to Godofredo P. Ramos Airport, but it lagged behind in upgrades until SMC Infrastructure stepped in. Now the current and long-term developments include the construction of an international airport passenger terminal. SMC Infrastructure also extended the existing runway to better serve bigger aircrafts. From 950 meters, It now stretches up to 2,100 meters long, keeping passengers happy and satisfied as they escape into the relaxing beaches and waters of Boracay.
Napakahalaga ng savings kasi pag dumating ang pagkakataon na ikaw ay nasa kibit kalagayan, di ba, ma-hospital ka o magkasakit ka ng dito lang sa bahay, kailangan ng pera. Meron kang ipon, anytime pwede ka makapag-withdraw. Matatagpuan yung tindahan ko malapit dito sa Cebuana. Dito po ako naguhulog araw-araw. Kasi gusto ko nga po makaipon para sa aking mga anak, para sa sarili ko, sa darating na araw ng buhay ko. Kaya sinikap po talagang mag-ipon. Ako po ay may sariling bike, may sidecar. Dadaling ko po yun sa palengke, tapos doon po, may marami na po akong suki doon na ibinibigay nila yung karton nila sa akin. At yun po, yung mga binibenta ko. Hindi naman alam na ang mga anak ko na may nakatabi akong pera. Yun po yung inunti-unti namin na ginamit pang araw-araw na pagkain namin nung talagang pandemic.
Stay in ako dito bilang isang sales clerk sa auto supply shop. Basta pag sasahod ako, dadaling ko doon sa Cebuana, iniipon ko yon. Mas maganda pag nandoon yung pera mo, hindi mo basta-basta magastos, tapos syempre nakokontrol mo siya. Hindi tulad pag hawak-hawak mo lang. Sa hirap ng buhay, kailangan mong kumayod at kailangan mag-ipon.
Siyempre kailangan mo pa rin tumayo kung paano mong pagkakasyahin, kung ano yung nandiyan. Pero hindi naman mahirap kasi meron ka nakatabi. Tandaan ako, gusto ko makapag-ipon ng pera para sa darating na araw ng buhay ko at para sa aking mga anak. Talagang dapat magsikap. Magsikap. Hindi ka naman magsisisi kung makaipon ka eh.
This program is brought to you by
The Science for the People book series started as a pet project to aid our long ambition of telling the story of science and technology on a personal level.
This book reflects on how Philippines and its international partners have worked together to advance science, technology, and innovation.
Napaka-importante nito kasi by telling our stories, it will also guide us to making this community stronger, better, and happier.
It will inspire you and give you courage to continue and to pursue your dreams.
As they say, where there is science, there is hope.
Welcome back. Top PBA teams will get to test their mettle against Asian powerhouses in the new and improved East Asia Super League. Beginning October 2022, the league will do away with week-long invitational tournaments and will instead feature a 6-month home and away format. The PBA will choose 2 teams from its top 4 squads next season to represent the country. They will join 6 other clubs in the region, including champions and runners-up from the Japan B-League and Korean Basketball League. They will play in a round-robin format with 2 games taking place Wednesday nights. No PBA team has won an EASL title yet, with the San Miguel Beermen and NLEX Road Warriors both clinching the highest finish of a Filipino team at 4th place. In entertainment, as the year comes to a close, a streaming platform reveals some of the music we've listened to the most. Dominating Spotify's 2021 Wrapped is Puerto Rican rapper-singer Bad Bunny as the most streamed artist. He beat out other chart toppers like Taylor Swift and BTS after getting more than 9 billion streams. And Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license has reached another milestone. Spotify's most streamed song globally with over 1 billion streams. Her Grammy-nominated record, Sour, also came out as the most streamed album worldwide. Take note of your holiday trips. It's off to Baguio for those cold Christmas evenings. The summer capital recorded a low 13 degrees Celsius at 5 a.m. today because of the Amihan or northeast monsoon. Make sure to bundle up if you're hitting the City of Pines this weekend. And if your weekend travels get you to Aklan, you might want to catch this cheery holiday sight at Pastrana Park. Last night, the province's capital launched its giant Christmas tree and lights to welcome the Yuletide season. Kalibo Mayor Emerson De Chica reminded attendees of the annual celebration to observe health protocols while in the park. We have 23 days before Christmas. That's it for now. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Mai Rodriguez for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
O, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa